Happy holidays, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here. I am Chef Jill, and this is Holiday Gathering with Chef Jill. I am here to help you with all things holidays. It gets stressful, right? People get a little stressed out. So I'm here to show you how to take some traditional recipes you might have and kick them up a notch, show you a fabulous cocktail, show you easy appetizers, all the things to make your holiday stress-free and delicious. So starting off, right off the bat, I'm gonna make this really lovely appetizer. And what I love about it is you can make it ahead of time. I think a lot of people get really nervous to entertain or to cook during the holidays because it's too overwhelming, there's too much stuff going on. And to me, getting as far ahead as possible is what you wanna do. So the appetizer I'm gonna make for you right now are these really beautiful puff pastry pinwheels, and I'm gonna layer them with all the flavors, all the things we want. We got salty, creamy, spicy, a little bit sweet, all the things. So I have some puff pastry here from the store, and I lightly floured my cutting board here. And all I'm gonna do, just do a light rollout. Now, puff pastry takes about 24 hours to thaw out in the fridge, so make sure you do a little thaw on it so it's ready to go, so it's nice and pliable. And I'm just rolling it out a little. If you've ever used puff pastry, you know it goes from here to here very quickly. So we wanna roll that out a little bit. Next, I have a little beaten egg here with a little water, and I wanna go ahead and do a little brush over the top. Now, what I love about puff pastry is you get all the layers, it's buttery, it's delicious, but you wanna make it golden. You know what I'm saying? So this helps make those golden layers that add a little bit of that crunch that everybody loves. Now, once that's done there, set this to the side. We're gonna use this again. Now, I want you to take your favorite salami, whatever kind you like. Just make sure it's cut pretty thin. We want a nice thin slice of salami. Do a single layer across the board here. If you have huge pieces of salami, like the huge Genoa salami, you might only need 8 pieces. I have smaller pieces here, but what I love about this recipe is you can't mess it up. It's just put some ingredients on some puff pastry. If you like a spicy salami, feel free to add a little spice, but I'm gonna show you how to add a little spice at the end of this as well. All right, now once I have most of my puff pastry here covered up, now I'm gonna take some goat cheese. And the goat cheese I like to use is the goat cheese that's already crumbled. Makes your life easier. You're not gonna make a big mess with your hands trying to, take big logs of goat cheese and just sprinkle it over the top. But if you only have logs of goat cheese, get your hands messy, go ahead and just crumble it right over the top. I use it all. I'm a goat cheese girl. All right, next what I wanna do is arugula. Now arugula is this really beautiful leafy green, and this leafy green is peppery. It's a little bit spicy. So now, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna turn my board and I'm gonna start rolling. I'm doing it from the short end because you're gonna slice these nice and thin. Just a gentle roll like this. Look at that, beautiful. And now I'm gonna take a serrated knife and I'm gonna go ahead and start slicing into rounds. The first one is always kind of ugly. You can take it or leave it, up to you. After that, I'm gonna go ahead and slice into these beautiful pinwheels, about a half of an inch thick. Now, the recipe on wearegreenbay.com is gonna tell you to do this twice. That way you'll get about 30 appetizers. So once you have these beautiful pinwheels ready to go, you can make all of this in advance. Throw them in your fridge. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lightly grease a sheet pan. I'm gonna throw them on. Don't throw them, I'm gonna place them on. Once you have them all on, go ahead and brush them with a little more of that egg wash, just to help get them nice and golden, get the edges. And I'm gonna put these in you can put them in the fridge if you want to. Have them made the day before. Pop them in the oven right before you're entertaining. Or go ahead and throw them right in a 400-degree oven. Of course, I've made some for you already that you're gonna need to check out, so let me show you. Absolutely gorgeous, look at those. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a tray here, go ahead and just slide them off. Because there's so much butter in puff pastry, they really do slide really easily. Right onto a platter. And then from here is my favorite part of this. Gather them together. These are great room temperature, warm, however you want to serve them, but get some hot honey. Because right now they're salty and creamy and peppery. Let's get some spice, just like that. And the honey kind of sinks into them, so therefore they aren't like crazy sticky. They're just super delicious. So I hope you make this. And when you come back, you're gonna come back and see how to take regular mashed potatoes and push them up a notch. All right, I'll see you back here. Welcome back, everybody. I am ready to talk about what's on your table already. Mashed potatoes. Everybody does mashed potatoes. Everyone's got their own way to do mashed potatoes. But I'm gonna show you how I take my mashed potatoes and kick them up a notch. So here's what we're gonna start doing. I've got some butter, some unsalted butter in my little pot here. We're gonna go ahead and get this on the stove on very low heat. What I'm looking to do here is gently melt this down. We're gonna make some brown butter, and if you've never made brown butter before, you just sink down this butter and melt it until it gets nutty and absolutely delicious. Now, we've got our mashed potatoes, right? Just take your mashed potatoes that you always make. Got some right here. Gonna finish up mashing these with my grandma's potato masher, tradition in my house. Just finish mashing these up. Now, for your mashed potatoes, one of the things I want you to think about is the trick of a chef. What do? We heat up our butter and our milk together. And that way, just our regular butter, regular milk. We're gonna add the brown butter at the end. But this right here, a lot of people just mash in butter and milk. No, heat them up. Let it get all melty and delicious. It'll make your potatoes super smooth. So go ahead and start mashing in, along with a good pinch of salt, always seasoning with your fingers, please. Little pep. Give that a good mash. And then once you feel that your potatoes are seasoned well, they taste delicious, you like them, now it's time to add the piece de resistance. So I've got some garlic cloves here. I don't necessarily think you need to make garlic mashed potatoes, but I do feel like we need to add a little bit of this garlic flavor to your butter that's getting nice and brown. So I just smash up some garlic cloves. Don't worry about chopping them. Don't worry about mincing them. Don't worry about that evil garlic press. Go ahead and just add those into your butter. Let that all sink down. Now, I have some ready to go for you to see. This is the color we want. We want that really nutty brown. And what I want to do is take out those garlic cloves. If you want to smash them in, you can. I don't think it's necessary. I just like garlic to perfume the dish. So the last thing I'm gonna do here is take these out, and right before you serve your mashed potatoes, smash them in. Now, I'm gonna add just a little bit at a time here. We're gonna go ahead and give this a good stir. Now, something you should know, slow cooker. Once you have these in a great spot, transfer these to your slow cooker and let them sit all day. Get ahead of the game. Make these way earlier in the day. And when you add these to your slow cooker, what I want you to do is add a layer or two of paper towels over the top before you put the lid on. That'll take all that condensation out and give you the most perfect brown butter, garlicky mashed potatoes you've ever had. You will thank me later. I'll see you back here. We're gonna make some Brussels sprouts that even your kids will eat. Welcome back, everybody. We're gonna tackle the Brussels sprout. People get nervous about Brussels sprouts. They're really trendy nowadays, right? Everybody loves them now. But growing up, you always hear the horror stories from everybody. And let me tell you something. The reason people get freaked out about Brussels sprouts is because back in the day, they would just boil them and leave them whole, and they were little sulfur bombs, and they're terrible. However, if you're making Brussels sprouts, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead, take off the bottom, cut them in half, and by cutting them in half, now you're gonna take out all that sulfur out of there, and they're gonna become caramelized and delicious. We're gonna roast these up. I'm gonna show you a beautiful way to make Brussels sprouts. There are so many ways to do it now, but this is one of my go-tos that is so easy. So I've got Brussels sprouts here, all cut in half, gorgeous. We're gonna go ahead and drizzle this with a little bit of olive oil. Please don't forget that you can find any of these recipes on wearegreenbay.com. So just enjoy right now, watch what I'm doing, go back, find the recipes later, but really, you can't mess this up. It's so easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss these Brussels sprouts with that olive oil so they get nice and coated. To this, let's add some umami flavor, that really beautiful salty flavor. We're gonna go ahead and get Parmesan cheese, and I don't go light. I love a Parm. I love a Parmesan. It's just nutty and warm and delicious. Nobody doesn't like Parmesan because it's fabulous. And we're gonna go ahead and stir that up, get all the Parmesan in there. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw this onto a lined baking sheet, because that Parmesan can get a little sticky, so you don't wanna be cleaning your pans all day when it's the holidays. Dump them on. Now, I wanna add more salty flavor to this because we're gonna sweeten it up later. So lay these out, and my oven is preheated to 425 degrees, and I'm gonna sprinkle on some pancetta, this really beautiful Italian pork belly. You can find it in the deli case. Just go ahead and add it on top. It's gonna roast and get all crispy with your Brussels sprouts, just like that. And then we're gonna go ahead and sprinkle it with just a little bit of salt and pepper. Just a little bit because that pancetta is salty, that Parmesan is salty. Go ahead and get it in your oven. And I have one ready to go here. I'm using a high temperature because I really want it to get caramelized, crispy, delicious. Now look at this. Beautiful, they're crunchy, they're fantastic. Now what I wanna do, let's drizzle them with a little bit of honey. Let's sweeten these up. That salty, salty pork belly in there, that pancetta with the Parmesan and the honey. Go ahead and give that a nice little stir. I'm telling you, this is such a crowd pleaser. It hits all the palate. Delish. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in a bowl, and then I'm gonna show you my favorite way to garnish these. I just do it right from the tin foil. Keep your life easy. Pour them right in. Ah, they smell so good, which people don't normally say about Brussels sprouts, but they do. I'm gonna move this to the side. Gorgeous. Peanuts. Don't ask me why. To me, this just adds this salty crunch no one's expecting, and I add peanuts on top. It is delicious. It's so good. Everyone will like this. No one's expecting it. And between the crunch and the salty and the sweet and the little bitty crunchy little bits right there, it is fabulous. It's one of my favorite things. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you make this for your family. You will not be disappointed. Oh, it's so good. Meet me back here when I show you how to make the best dessert ever. It is now my favorite time, dessert time. Now I know everybody during the holidays kind of goes towards pumpkin, goes towards apple. I'm gonna show you how to make a hot chocolate bread pudding with molten marshmallows over the top. You make it in a huge casserole dish, you make it the night before, pop it in the oven when you need it, and it is perfection. No one's ever mad about this bread pudding. It's one of my faves. So I'm gonna show you how to do it. First, we need to make a custard. So I'm gonna go ahead and get 4 whole eggs into my mixing bowl. Notice though that I am tapping it on a flat surface. That's the proper way to, do an egg. Just thought I'd let you know. Go ahead and just do right on a flat surface, and if a little piece of shell gets in there, just use your shell itself to dip in. It'll stick to it like a magnet, so little trick. All right, I got one more here. We got 4 eggs. Now we need to make the custard here, and most people will do heavy cream, so I'm gonna add a little heavy cream for some richness. However, here's one of the tricks I learned when I was out catering in California. You've gotta use rich chocolate milk instead of regular milk. You use chocolate milk in this. It's gonna make it extra, extra chocolatey. For me, I'm one of those people that if you tell me a dessert is chocolate, lemon, or coffee, you better hit me over the head with chocolate, lemon, or coffee. This is one of those desserts that hits you over the head with chocolate. So to this, I'm gonna give this a little whisk here, and then I'm gonna add in a little bit of sugar. And I'm gonna go ahead and add in, this is kind of my favorite part about it. This is the hot chocolate part about it. I have 4 packets of your favorite hot chocolate mix. Now, do you like a milk chocolate? Do you like a dark chocolate? You do whatever toots your whistle, I don't care. You just go ahead and add in 4 of these. It's gonna give it that hot chocolate flavor that we all love. A little extra richness. So I think I'm using a dark chocolate one. But to be honest, I have all the flavors at my house because I'm a chocoholic, and I don't apologize. To this, I'm also gonna add a little bit of vanilla in here. I don't measure vanilla, you measure it with your heart. I actually have some vanilla bean paste on hand. If you happen to have that, good for you. Look how rich that is. If you don't have that, regular vanilla works fantastic. So give this a good whisk all together with a nice pinch of salt. And by pinch, I mean like a 3 to 4 finger pinch. That salt is gonna bring out all of the flavors that we're looking for here. Make the chocolate just a little bit sweeter. All right, so once this is all mixed together here, on the side I have a loaf of bread that I've cut up and gotten stale. Now, just let it sit overnight, chopped up, it'll get stale overnight, or you can throw it in your oven for a few minutes to kind of make little crunchy croutons, but stale bread is the key. Now I got my custard ready to go here. I'm gonna go ahead and get in my crunchy bread cubes. I like to do a thick bread. Don't get the sliced bread. Get like a nice thick egg bread or like a big French loaf, an Italian loaf, something like that, and stir it up. Now I'm gonna add, once this kind of gets stirred up here, I'm gonna add in some marshmallows. Top them in, just measure with your heart, just throw them in. Now granted, you could get the recipes, of course, on wearegreenbay.com, but otherwise just throw in as many marshmallows that you like. Speaking of, let's get some chocolate chips in there as well. I do a full 2 cups, because it's the holidays, honey. Go big or go home. I have a greased casserole dish here, and I'm gonna add this all in, and you want it to sit for about 30 minutes. Let it all get soaked up. Let me move my stuff out of the way here. I got a big, beautiful casserole dish. Go ahead and add it in. It's gonna seem kind of liquidy right now, but once you let it sit for a half hour, or I prefer overnight, just like that, push it all in. That way it's ready to bake right away when you need it. And it's gonna take about 30 to 40 minutes covered in foil. And then you're gonna take the foil off and you're gonna top it with marshmallows, with mini marshmallows to give it that hot chocolate feel. And then we're gonna pull it out. I'm gonna show you one. I have one ready to go here. All right, let's take a look here. Oh, okay, come on. Oh, it smells so good. It smells delicious, look at that. So you've got this rich, fudgy bread pudding, and then you've got these toasted marshmallows on top. It's hot chocolate in a dish, and it's not pumpkin, and it's not apple. It's something different that you can make ahead of time, which I love. I'm gonna scoop a little bit up here. It almost has like a brownie consistency, where it's kind of got that firm thing going on. Look at that, chocolate. So good. I'm gonna snack on this for a minute while I tell you something else I feel like you need to know for the holidays. What's stressful? Gifts. Gift giving is stressful. I have 2 suggestions for you. One, look behind me. This is beautiful, isn't it? Go visit my friends at Buds and Bloom in De Pere. They do a fantastic job with floral and holiday gifts. Go give them a visit over there. Also, I found a gift card that no one is ever mad to get. They're always happy to get it. Head over to Ashwaubenon to the Jyll, the shoe store. It is bar none the best shoe store in town. I love it. I'm wearing my non-sticks right now. I absolutely love that. And every time I've had a hard time finding a gift for someone, I get them a gift card to there, and everyone's always happy. So I'm gonna dig into this right now, and you're gonna meet me back here, and I'm gonna show you my favorite holiday cocktail that we're gonna make in a batch, so that way you're not stuck at the bar all night. All right, everybody, cocktail time. Now, you don't want to be stuck at the bar making cocktails for everybody all night. So I'm going to show you one of my favorite cocktails that you can make in a batch and people can just help themselves, and I'll show you how to make it extra beautiful. So in a pitcher, I went ahead and added in some fresh orange juice, and I'm going to add in some bourbon. Your favorite bourbon, get a good bourbon. Make it taste good. So get some good bourbon in there. I'm also going to add in pomegranate juice. It looks beautiful for the holidays. It goes great with bourbon, great with orange, looks festive. And now, before I add in some Prosecco, I want to show you these ice cubes I made. So before I put the ice in, I add in cranberries, orange slices, I add in fresh rosemary, fresh herbs, make it beautiful, delicious. I go ahead and add in a bunch of these ice cubes in here to cool it down. And then to finish it off, I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with a little bit of Prosecco, that really beautiful sparkling wine that's so good. It's a little bit sweet. And I'm gonna go ahead and add the spritzer. Now, if you wanna make this in advance, do it. Just add the Prosecco right before you wanna serve it. Don't make it to this point and put it in the fridge. I want you to add that last. You're gonna give it a good stir. Those beautiful ice cubes in there. Maybe I can add 1 or 2 more because they just look so festive and so gorgeous. You can use these ice cubes for so many different things. So let me grab one of my cocktail glasses here with the ice. The ice has those frozen cranberries, which makes the drink look so beautiful with very little effort. And cheers, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I want to thank my very special sponsors, the Jyll and Merrill Lynch, for allowing me in your homes. I hope you enjoyed these recipes. You can find them at wearegreenbay.com. Everybody have a safe and wonderful holiday season, and cheers. Thank you so much.